When we sleep, we're completely unaware of what's happening around us or what we do while we're asleep. For those living with a spouse or family, there are often funny stories shared the next morning about what happened during the night. But for people living alone, this mystery remains unsolved. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing content. It's normal for people to move around in their sleep when they feel uncomfortable. Some even talk or walk while sleeping. It's impossible to know exactly what happens while we sleep, but this is just a regular part of life. However, for one little girl, her parents became increasingly concerned as she woke up every morning with fresh bruises. When they finally learned the cause, they were left speechless. At first, her bruises appeared only occasionally, and they thought she might have been bumping into things while asleep. The bruises were small and not very noticeable, so her parents didn't think much of it. It's not uncommon to injure yourself in your sleep, especially if you have a bad dream. But as time went on, the bruises became larger and deeper, raising alarm bells for her parents. They realized this wasn't a normal occurrence. Where were the bruises coming from? Eventually, the parents began hearing questions from others about their daughter's well-being. Some people even suggested that the child was being abused at home or bullied at school. But everything changed when the girl attended a summer camp. Like all the other kids, she wore shorts and skirts, and soon the camp staff noticed unusual bruises on her body. The girl played outside all day, under the careful watch of the staff, and there were no injuries while at camp. Yet, every morning she returned with new bruises on her arms and legs. Nobody could understand what was happening. The staff suspected she might be a victim of abuse at home, so they reported the case to the authorities. Of course, her parents were horrified by the suggestion. They never harmed their daughter, but they couldn't explain where the bruises were coming from either. They initially thought it might be related to an iron deficiency and quickly scheduled an appointment with their doctor. But before they could go, they were visited by social services, who had received the report from the camp about suspected child abuse. The parents were in shock. They were devastated by the accusation, but without an explanation for the bruises, they couldn't defend themselves. During the visit, the social worker spoke with the girl, and she confirmed that every morning she would wake up to find new bruises that had appeared overnight. The parents told the social worker about the doctor's appointment they had scheduled, and the case was put on hold until they had more answers. The doctor conducted several tests and confirmed that the girl was perfectly healthy and didn't have an iron deficiency, which was a relief. However, her parents were still puzzled. If her health was fine, what was causing the bruises? The confusion deepened, and the parents knew they had to find out what was happening. They bought a video camera and set it up in her room to record what was going on while she slept. They placed it on the desk beside her bed, kissed her goodnight, and turned off the lights, hoping that the camera would finally provide the answers they needed. Little did they know, what they were about to uncover would leave them speechless. The next morning, their daughter woke up with fresh bruises, just like always. The father retrieved the camera and played back the footage. What he saw shocked him. His daughter wasn't sleeping peacefully in her bed. She was crawling. Worse, she was crawling backward in a way that looked completely unnatural. The movements were unsettling, almost as if she were possessed. While it's common to move around in your sleep, crawling backward all night long was something completely out of the ordinary. Her parents were terrified and at a loss for words. At last, they had their answer. After watching the footage, the father contacted social services again to explain what had been discovered. After reviewing the video, the case was officially closed. Though no one could fully explain the bizarre events happening to the little girl at night, her parents finally understood what was causing the bruises.